How are you?
Hi, Ron.
After our third take of trying to start this podcast,
Third, or
we were too
like-
busy laughing.
Like 20th. Jesus Christ.
Well, like 20th, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is a podcast. We do things.
Yeah, we are Rage Quitters, and we talk about video games and we review them, and we stumble our words, and we rage at games, and that's just the things.
That's true.
Things that we do.
And I actually raged at this game this time too. Well,
hey,
I
me
raged at
too.
this game, but yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So this episode is our fourth classic game. Is it fourth or fifth?
Yeah.
I think it's fourth. It's yes.
yes, indeed. It's one of those.
It is fourth. So we did Doom, God of War, Blast 4, and then Star Fox. So yeah, we're doing Star Fox 64
Yay.
for the Nintendo 64.
Right, and just a forewarning, this is a short game, so it's probably going to be a short podcast. But,
Yeah, it was an extremely short game.
Yeah, it took us about 2 hours to beat, I'd say. Max 2
if
hours.
that.
Max
It was
2
probably
hours.
like an hour and a half.
Yeah. So, so this is Star Fox 64. It's a game, that's for sure.
We got a lot to say right off the bat.
Well,
about
it's
it.
I don't even know what to call it. It's an on the rail shooter.
It's an on-rail shooter, is
Yeah.
what I was going to say. Yep.
So
It's an on-rail shooter, but it also provides a lot of. There is some free form aspects of it. Like
there
you do
is.
get to,
There's a few.
there's
levels.
a couple levels where you fly around and
which
do
is
whatever you want.
actually kind of amazing for a game this old, where you could just fly around and do whatever you wanted to.
I mean, this is the same system Super Mario 64 came out on, and Ocarina of Time.
You know what? Shh. Okay. Just let me believe what I believe. Okay. It's fine.
So I don't know about amazing.
Okay. So I was wrong, apparently. Just straight up
Yeah.
wrong. Anyway.
That's stupid.
I'm
So let's
dumb.
just go with that.
Yeah, that's fine. So Star Fox 64. For those of you who don't know who Star Fox is,
Fox McCloud.
well, I'm sorry. Fox McCloud, not Star Fox. His dad. Today I learned his dad's. Yesterday I learned his dad's name is James.
Yeah, James McCloud.
James
It's not
McCloud.
It's not even. Yeah, I bet you he was a Fox too, but he decided to name his son Fox.
Yeah, how
That's
original
kind of
is that? What the?
Yeah,
Uh,
it's very odd.
Human Carl over there. Damn it.
But yeah, apparently his dad died or disappears or something like that.
Disappears. Which no, he definitely disappears because I definitely thought that was going to come up in the story.
Yeah, I thought that maybe he would still be alive. Or
Yeah, I
something.
thought we'd find the dad, but whatever. That apparently is the next game. I don't know. I
no,
actually-
well, from what I hear, every Star Fox after this is pretty much a remake of this game.
Really?
Like that's what people complain about with modern Star Fox Zero.
It's just like
is this the same game?
save the universe from weird face guy
Andros. Yeah.
Andros. That's interesting.
And Andros has like a bunch of enemy people underneath him as well, including Wolf, who I think Matt and I's most familiarity with Star Fox before this has been through Smash Bros.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So I would say that's probably most people's first experience with Star Fox, considering Star Fox wasn't that crazy popular, I don't think. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm
I don't
wrong.
know. I don't. Maybe it was. I never.
I would
really,
say it was more popular than like Earthbound, because I don't know
Yeah,
that
that's
many
true.
people that knew Ness before Smash Bros. But
True.
probably not as big as Mario or Zelda in terms of
Yeah. So I mean, I kind of agree. I didn't really. I knew Star Fox was a game, but that's about it. So.
Yeah. To be fair, I this isn't the first Star Fox I've played. I played one other Star Fox, which was the DS game back when I was like super into my DS. I think it was like Star Fox Command. I don't remember.
All right. Well.
Look it up now. Yeah, Star Fox Command. Yep, that's what I played, which I enjoyed a lot actually. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's get into the game. I guess Star Fox 64, for those of you who don't know, was released on the Nintendo 64 in something called the IQ Player, according to Wikipedia. I don't know what the fuck that is, but okay. Apparently,
like
it was
6 years afterwards.
it was developed by Microsoft, or not by Microsoft, by Nintendo.
What?
By
Yeah.
Nintendo. My bad. I'm getting
I was gonna say that Microsoft made a Nintendo 64 exclusive.
anyway. No, the IQ Player was made by Nintendo. I just never heard of it before. No, this was of course made by Miyamoto, because why the fuck
Yep.
not? Anyway, so it came out on the Nintendo 64 in 1997, various times in different places. And then, yeah, it's a rail scrolling shooter, according to Wikipedia, which is what we said. So
3D scrolling shooter game.
We both played it on the Project 64 emulator, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
I used an Xbox One controller.
I used PS4.
Of course. And then we kind of talked about the game already, but basically the general story is you're Fox McCloud and you're trying to save the whatever universe. I don't even remember the name of it.
I don't even really know what the hell is it?
I don't know. I'll look it up. But anyway, you're trying to save it from the guy. I don't even. God, I'm so.
The guy, Andros.
Andros, yes. Yeah. So you can continue on that. I'm trying to look for the name. It doesn't say.
I'm learning things, Matt, that we didn't know before we started this podcast.
No.
If we had played the game on hard mode, there's actually additional story.
Interesting.
Like if we had gone the hard route, you know what I'm saying? Including James appearing.
Really?
Yep.
Well, now you know. Play the game on hard mode for the full story.
Yeah,
apparently.
spoilers, by the way, for this game from 1997.
Yeah. So it's called the Lilat system of planets?
There you go.
Okay. That's what I was looking
prepared
for.
For this podcast. I'm feeling very prepared right now.
Yeah, I'm...
I feel like we know everything about this game.
So the story is that there's an original trio, James McCloud, Peppy Hare, and Pigma Dengar. I think is how you... It's got to be. Anyway, so Pigma betrays them. James gets captured. Peppy Hare is actually in this game as one of your companions, along with Slippy Toad and Falco Lombardi. Yeah, he's definitely Italian.
Who people probably know from Smash Bros. As well.
Yes. So, yeah, that's the game. You fight basically ships.
You fight ships and bosses at each level. The interesting thing about this game is that there's 3 different routes that you can take to the end. There's 7 missions, no matter what.
Yes.
To finish the game,
Mm-hmm.
but almost every there's 3 branching paths. I think you play the first level, the same first level, no matter what. But after that, depending upon who's alive in your party and maybe other additional parameters, it will send you on one of 2 paths every single time for which to have different difficulties.
Yeah.
I say one of 2, but there's really 3 different routes that you can take. There's an easy, medium, and a hard, basically, path. And I think it's basically based on how well you performed in each level. So, like, who's alive and how much damage.
It's definitely... Well, I don't know if it's all that, but it's
I don't
some
know
of it's
about
that.
damage, but...
I don't know about damage, but, like, one of them, I was looking it up, like, one of them requires you to have, Falco present by the end of it, and to unlock, like, the medium or the alternate way or whatever the heck you want to call it.
Oh, sure.
So,
yep.
But yeah, I didn't unlock any of the other alternate ways, I don't think. Did you?
You did. If you did the flame one, that was an intermediate one. That was a medium one. The fire level was a medium level.
That was a damn hard level, too.
It was. And I think the one right after that also was.
Interesting.
I'm assuming we kind of went on the same path from what it sounded like when we were talking about this.
Yeah, I think we did too. So, okay.
Yeah, it was mostly easy with a couple medium levels with what we had.
Yep.
But the game was still frustratingly difficult. So
I don't know about frustratingly difficult, but I was frustrated on that lava level specifically.
The lava level was literally hell.
It sucked. Well, yeah, and it was actually hell or hell-like, but it also just sucked. Yeah, so do you just want to get into...
Yeah, I mean, we've talked enough about it. I think we can just move into our little categories. So we can first start to talk about graphics. So the textures and the animation of the game.
So it's obviously a 64 game. I'd say it's on par with, like, Super Mario 64.
So I want to say that I think it's a little bit worse.
I do say it's probably a little bit worse.
Like, especially the cutscene at the end when they're walking up and talking to the dude or whatever.
That's really bad.
That looked horrendous.
That looked really bad.
Compared to, like, the cutscenes in Mario 64 when you beat the game.
There was, like, 7 pixels on the screen in that cutscene.
But they just look like ragdolls and their hands move like robots. It was very odd.
Yeah, I agree. And then them running at the end. I don't know if you thought that was weird, but they just were very stiff. But it is a 64 game, you know.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. I just rated it a little bit lower. It might have came out a little bit earlier than.
No, it came out the same year
as Mario 64.
Yeah,
actually, Mario 64 came out the year before.
it was the second most selling game, a Nintendo game in 1997, second to Super Mario 64. So, I just saw that on Wikipedia. That's why I know that.
Yeah, Mario 64 came out the year before.
Yeah. So, anyway, I don't know. I thought like the textures and stuff, it was pretty okay. I would say average, but I did think that like the ending scene was really weirdly not the same quality as the rest of the game. Almost.
Yeah.
And then I also like them talking. I just couldn't handle the way their mouths. They basically cut the like mouth in half and just like lowered half of it for them to talk. It just was really weird, but I guess that's what happens.
I agree. Yeah, I don't know. It just wasn't the greatest for me. Graphic. I didn't have a lot of major complaints. I guess it didn't bother me too much, but it just generally was like, yeah, I'm definitely playing an old game. I'm not impressed by anything from this. So animations. I mean, the in-game. I don't know. I don't even know if I can talk about the animations because there's not
a whole lot.
Yeah, there's not a lot other than your ship flying around and like the enemies flying around you and towards you and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. There's not like a whole lot of anime. I mean, there's like explosions and stuff, which are pretty okay. Like the lava level, animations were pretty alright.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
You know, I don't know.
It's just one of those things. I don't know. It didn't leave a lasting impression on me. Maybe it's just that I wasn't. I don't know. It's really hard to. So I'm just gonna say this for every category. We only played. This game was only an hour and a half long, roughly, which we said already. But it's very hard to have a lasting impression, I think, on us with that short of a game.
Plus,
at least for me.
Plus, it's like graphics, especially. It's really hard to compare because it's so old. So
yeah, exactly.
But. I'm ready to give this a score.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 4.
Okay. Is realistic.
Yeah. So 4 being 5 being average, 7 being pretty good, 10 being like the best ever. 4 is just slightly below average, and I think that's probably fair in my opinion.
I'm gonna go with 3.
That's fair. I
thought it was just like if we're comparing against Mario and Zelda, like it's just way below that. I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. So, but those are also high too. Like those. But yeah, I agree. So, okay.
All right, sound.
Yeah.
So music, score, sound effects, and voice acting.
Yeah. So the voice acting, I'll start with voice acting because it's easy to. Was pretty good. I mean, I didn't get annoyed by it. I didn't get annoyed by it.
Oh, I did.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, Fox, get them off of me.
Okay, that wasn't. That wasn't voice acting. That was just stupid shit.
That was Slippy being annoying as shit.
Yeah. I mean, I agree that, like, Slippy can be annoying, but that was just because, so, like, every single time...
The voice acting is fine. If we're talking about, like... I just think of, like, Blastcore, where we were talking about how you're just trying to impress me constantly.
Yeah, that's fair. So if we're going to go off that, yeah, that kind of sucked. So basically every time that your allies were in the game with you and, like, they were being chased by enemies, they said something... because you were supposed to go help them, and yeah, that was annoying.
Or if you accidentally shoot them, because it's super, super easy to accidentally shoot them when you're trying to get the enemies off.
Oh my god, that's so annoying.
That was frustrating. I guess that's more gameplay. We can talk about that, but
yeah.
But they would yell at you every single time that happened.
Yeah. So I guess I agree. The voice acting was okay. The sound effects, though, I will say were pretty good.
I think the sound effects, and I was going to say, this is probably the most split category for me because I did not like the voice stuff very much, but I really, really liked the music.
Yeah.
And the sound effects.
The sound effects, like shooting the guns was really good. The bombs was even pretty good. I don't remember, like... Well, I do remember, like, there was a specific one for, like, slowing down or speeding up your ship. Mm-hmm. Just everything was pretty good for sound effects, I'd say, to be honest.
Oh, man, I just realized something that completely negates everything negative about voice acting.
What?
Do a barrel roll.
Do a barrel roll. They do say that.
The original game.
Do barrel.
But yeah, I think the music was really good. It reminded me a lot of Smash Bros. That's kind of why I loved it, obviously. Because
the music was
Corneria was my favorite map.
It was very
Smash
like
Bros. Games.
Is Zelda-y too, like music?
Yeah, the ending sounded exactly like the ending of Mario 64, and then a little bit of hint of Zelda in it.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually look up Star Fox 64's composer right now and just see.
It's got to be the same person.
It's got to be
like,
the same
100%.
person, right?
That's one thing that I thought was on par with like Mario games and stuff. Satomi Terui is the composer.
I have Kojuni Kodiyo. Yeah, Legend of Zelda, Super Mario Bros., Zelda: A Link to the Past, Star Fox 64. There was a game before Star Fox 64.
Yeah, Star Fox for the SNES.
I did not know that. Wow.
I thought about playing that first, but this is the one that people regard as the best.
Ocarina of Time. He composed everything. Like a true Nintendo employee. He's everything. Majora's Mask, Mario Party, just literally everything you can think of. So, yeah. But yeah. Anyway. So the music's really good. The sound effects is actually pretty good. The voice acting's kind of meh. I kind of agree with that. So
yeah. All right. I feel comfortable with the score.
Yeah, go for
it. With 8.
8. Wow.
Yeah, I think it's good music. I really like the Star Fox theme. Just like I don't know, there's something about it.
I don't know. So music's always hard for me to judge because it's not something I necessarily pay attention to in the game. But I also think that's good generally when that happens. And I've said this before. Like if you don't notice the music being bad, that's probably means it's good music. I'm going to go with a 7, just because it didn't blow me away, but it was pretty good. Like, you mentioned it at the end, and I kind of started paying attention to it at the end a little bit. If you wouldn't have mentioned it, though, I maybe wouldn't have noticed how good it was.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just hard.
I don't know. I don't know if you had nostalgia for Smash Bros., but, like, Corneria.
I definitely heard Zelda in it. I don't know about Smash Bros., but I definitely heard Zelda, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's literally from Smash Bros., those songs.
Well, yeah, that songs were, yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
recognize it immediately from playing.
I don't know if I noticed. I definitely didn't notice that, but whatever. Okay, so gameplay next. So this kind of has to do with difficulty, game mechanics, and controls. We've kind of talked a little bit about this already, but...
Yeah, a tiny bit, but...
I guess the difficulty of the game, like there was that really hard level on the sun level or the lava level or whatever.
Yeah.
Was pretty difficult. Like, I actually game over down that level.
I think that at the same time, like, we were kind of complaining about that, but at the same time, I think a lot of that just comes from learning the game, too.
Yeah, I kind of
This is a game that was designed to be replayed, I think.
Yeah,
because definitely. Of how short it is.
Yeah.
To get the different endings. So I think that as we started to learn how we're supposed to do certain things, like how to flip around your ship, how to barrel roll, how to do different things like that actually are useful, it got a lot easier. And I didn't really struggle that much after that lava level. And really the lava level is just about picking up as much health as possible.
Yeah, so in the lava...
bombs.
Yeah, because you continually... your ship health degraded because it was so hot there or whatever. So you had to continually pick up health. Yeah, I agree. The lava level was hard, but honestly, like the next level, the tank level or whatever, wasn't too bad.
No, I thought it was a lot easier.
Yeah, so and really the other I didn't really die except for on the final boss after that. So
I think I died once in the final boss as well. And that's pretty much.
I think I maybe died twice, but yeah. So
I didn't start with it. I did. I will say this because I was playing on an emulator. I did save scum a little bit.
I definitely did. Well, okay. So to be fair, if you game over, you completely restart the game.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So
we were like, fuck that.
Yeah. Originally I was, but now that I know there's multiple endings and like different ways to get to different like parts of the game, I think it kind of works out for the game a little bit because it forces you. It
makes sense.
It does make sense, but for our purposes, we just saved and then
It's more arcadey in that sense, and I don't know if I really... Maybe it's not really the game's fault, I don't think. It's just not. That I wasn't necessarily expecting that.
I wasn't either.
I didn't know anything about it, really.
Yeah, so...
And maybe that's just not my cup of tea. Those arcade type, play it over and over again type games.
I kind of agree. I don't know. Well, it depends on the game, but... I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, I will say that the controls, specifically... kind of were making me mad. It might have been the emulator, but it was really hard to aim.
It's really hard to aim precisely. Yeah,
anything.
Like that's what I mean by like they're yelling at you constantly for shooting them because it's so hard to hit anything in the.
Yeah, you're literally. It's like a spray and pray type approach to this game. Yeah. At least with the emulator, I kind of wish I had a Nintendo 64 so I could see how bad.
Yeah, it was. Especially because I think it might be a little bit better pushing the C stick buttons versus using the second analog stick like we were doing for some of the things.
Yes, definitely.
Like to slow down, you have to hold back, and the back C stick button to speed up is left. That's what was weird.
Yeah, it was left. I don't even think forward was anything.
It did. It put you in first person.
What?
Yeah, you didn't know that?
No. Wow. Yeah. Completely changed the game for me there, Ron. I didn't know about the first person thing. Had no idea. Interesting. So, but yeah, so I don't know. And then like we talked about, like there's finicky stuff about the game mechanics too. Like you can shoot your teammates, which is really easy, and then they complain a lot. So.
Mm-hmm. But I don't know. Generally, I thought it was okay. I didn't have a lot of crazy issues with it. I managed to beat every level, as we were saying. But
yeah, exactly.
I just don't. It wasn't anything crazy special. It was a very meh Unreal shooter that I'll probably never play again.
Yeah, I agree. So I'm ready to give this a score, unless you have more.
Sure. No, I'm good.
I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay. That's actually exactly what I'm going to
give. Okay. Just because you're right, Ron. It's like, it did blow me away. It was kind of meh. And I think that's kind of a good way to put it. It's like, it wasn't that great. And maybe my feelings would be different if I played this game as a kid and be like, oh my gosh, this is so great.
It's a nostalgia thing, I think. It's rare that I think people go back and play franchises like this for the first time on this type of console and like probably feel the same way that someone playing it growing up felt about it.
Yeah. Well, and it
depends on the game too, but
and I think back now to like Doom, which we played on the first episode of the Classic Games, and I loved Doom. That was actually really fun.
Yeah, that was actually really cool.
So comparatively, this is significantly worse.
And some things just don't age as well, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think Doom has aged well. God of War hasn't.
I should actually be looking at what I gave Doom. Oh, we didn't do this for Doom, did we?
We didn't do this structure for Doom. We actually could go back and redo it.
No, that's not a big deal.
We might do it off podcast sometime.
Maybe.
Just when we compare at the end, maybe what it was before. But
okay, so next up, narrative. So it's kind of breaking it down into like the story and the settings and the characters. I'll go ahead and say that the story really didn't matter and the characters didn't really matter.
It didn't. It sets up something. At least you're not just like flying around aimlessly. And
it gives you purpose to play the game or like to be doing what you're doing in the game, but that's about it.
And each mission has its own goal / like reason that you're doing that mission. Like one of them, you're raiding the enemy base. One of them, you're like fighting Wolf and the other sub bad guys.
Pigma, whatever his name is.
Pigma.
Yeah. I will say that part of the game, like, I kind of wish I knew, but I don't, because like Slippy gives you like at the end gives you like information about the boss, like the boss.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the other two characters do. None.
Yeah, I'm assuming
I'm assuming they do something.
Benefit. Yeah.
If Slippy, like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. There's stuff in there that probably if I played it enough, I would know now. Like if I played it a few times, but it's kind of hidden too. So I don't know.
This game is very much a game that you're supposed to play over and over again, and that's maybe just what neither of us really were signing up for when we did this. And
definitely
that's why some of this stuff was lost on us in terms of how the game plays. So I mean, I wouldn't take our reviews of this super harshly as if you're a huge fan of this game or anything. It's just more.
I agree.
It's just more that we played through this once, and that's our experience with it. Yeah. So, that's kind of a little side tangent. But in terms of narrative, I mean, it's a very generic story that doesn't really bring a lot to the table. The individual missions give you purpose. It's not awful. Like it's not just like nothing.
It's certainly not bad. It's not like like Fallout 4 story. I would say is maybe bad.
Yeah, and I think it's cool that it has branching paths, which apparently also have different stories in them, right?
Yeah,
and different endings apparently. So that's kind of cool for a game from this era.
Yeah,
it's no Zelda
Ocarina of Time or any of those type of games, but
And it's not. Or even Super Mario 64.
Yeah, given that's just like Save Princess.
Yeah, but the characters kind of like actually have feelings to them, and like you to get to know them a little bit. I don't know.
I don't know about that. Maybe in newer Mario's 64.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not 64.
64, you don't even see Peach until the end. You know.
Yeah, I don't care about Peach. I was more thinking about like the snowman guy that you help, or like the penguins that you help.
I guess those are more just NPCs, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Anyway, we're not talking about Mario 64. Let's give a rating for narrative.
Yeah,
Think about narrative.
I don't know. It's hard because like I thought like the multiple like story arcs was really cool, but overall I didn't think it was that good. Yeah, I was gonna say 5.
I gave it a 5 because I don't feel any particular way about it at all. It's perfectly average.
All right. So now we're gonna cut before we go into the next category. I guess we're gonna just kind of take a step back and review the game maybe as a whole. What is your favorite part, Ron, of the game?
Is it wrong to say how short it was?
I mean, no, you can say that.
Yeah,
I have a much better answer than you. So
you probably do. Yeah. No, there's nothing that really stood out in this game for me. There was a couple, like the boss fights were sort of fun. I liked having to figure out how to, like, where you're supposed to shoot and stuff, but there's really not a lot of variety to that even. It's pretty straightforward, but yeah, generally I just liked that it was a short game that I didn't have to spend a lot of time playing. Maybe that's mean and that's rude, but that's just how I kind of felt about it.
Yeah, that's fair. So, I'll say the music, just because it's definitely the highest thing I rated.
I guess me too. I could have said that too. But
I don't, and it's hard because
for me that's mostly nostalgia, though.
Yeah, that's true too. Maybe for me even, I wouldn't have maybe noticed it like as much as if you wouldn't have said something, but I still thought it was pretty good. So
boom, 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 boom,
yeah, boom, boom,
anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom, 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 boom. Anyway,
so what was your biggest complaint about the game?
I should probably have thought about these before we got to this point, so I could have a more elaborate answer. But biggest complaint that I have about the game, I would say, I don't know. It's just meh. There's nothing that stood out for me. It doesn't last. Sorry.
No, go for it. You finish your thought.
It doesn't have the longevity, I think, that a lot of games from this era did in terms of
I agree with that.
How well it holds up now.
Yeah.
Like, I can play Mario 64 now and love it. I don't know if that's because I played Mario 64 growing up a bunch. We did just play Blast Corps, and Matt absolutely hated it, and he's never played.
Yeah.
He's never played that.
No, that's
before,
fair.
so maybe a lot of that is nostalgia from this era, but I don't know. It's just that it doesn't have the same. I was disappointed because I thought it might be another classic that I would end up loving because I love a lot of 64 games from that era. But
yeah,
that's probably my thing.
That's fair. So that's your complaint. I had a complaint, now I forgot it because you kept talking.
Because I just wanted to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. No, so, okay, I do remember what I was going to say now. So I really think that the story could have been a lot better. Like, I know I gave the story a 5, or the narrative a 5, which is average, but I'm really disappointed because, like, it could have been a lot more than what it was. Like, it's a really cool setting in space, and, like, a really cool, like, you made these, like, these completely new ships, like these Arwings, and basically this new, like, entire universe, and then you didn't really do anything with it. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I was kind of disappointed. Like, basically, you just go around, you shoot things, they kind of give you reasons, but that's it, and then you kill the bad guy at the end, and then you get a medal. It's just, they could have done more. It could have been better, in my opinion. So, but again, I didn't see all of the story arcs that I could have done, so maybe if I had played through all of the game completely, I'd have a different opinion, but...
Yeah, but if we liked it enough, we would have, and we didn't.
True. Very true. All right. So next category that we're gonna do before we do the overall scores is basically just our bias rating. So basically just how much we like the game overall.
Personally, yeah.
And I'm going to put
How
it.
we felt.
Oh, go for it.
Go ahead.
All right, I was gonna say I'm gonna just go straight into the score, and I'm gonna put a 3 here.
Hey, Jesus, it's
Just-
like you're copying my brain, dude.
We're on the same wavelength, dude. It's just like I don't know, it did blow me away. That's all I have to say
Yeah.
about it. Like, I wouldn't play the game again.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't either. I don't know. I'm a little bit curious, just a tiny bit curious, how like Star Fox Zero is now.
Yeah.
The newer one that they made for the Wii U. Because I heard a lot of complaints about that just being a copy of this, but you know, with a modern
Maybe it's
twist
good, though.
on it, maybe it would be actually good for me. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. That's a good...
But I don't know. I just don't know if I care that much about this series at all.
All right. So, who would you recommend this game to, Ron? I have a good one.
People that hate... Oh, I'm just kidding. If you like on-rail shooters, I would recommend this game just to try it out to see if you like it. If you played Smash Bros. And want to see the origins of Fox and Falco and Wolf, and just to kind of get some feel, which is half the reason I wanted to do this, then that would be a good reason to try this out. In terms of similar type games, I don't know if I've played a lot of on-rail shooters in this.
The only other one that like I can think of right now is like Resident Evil, and like that's not even anything sort of like this game. So I don't know.
That is, Resident Evil is 100% not an on-rail shooter. But sure.
Some of them are. 100%. Some of them are.
Maybe like
like
Revelations.
Revelations, yeah.
Okay.
There's,
okay.
I don't want to say like 50% of Resident Evils, but like a
well,
lot of
it's
those
funny you
spin-offs
say
are
that because I thought of House of the Dead, which is actually
pretty much the same
basically
thing.
the same thing. Yeah,
That's funny.
when I was talking about on-rail shooters, it's like the only
Yeah.
other on-rail one I've played before.
So, I would recommend this game to anybody who likes arcade games. I'd say.
Yeah.
If
I'd agree.
If you grew up like going to the arcade and playing arcade games, you're probably gonna like this game because it plays very similar to an arcade game, in my opinion.
I agree.
So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think that's it.
For Star Fox. It's
Okay, except for we didn't
didn't
give our overall scores.
Oh yeah, when we summed it all up, we both had 23 out of 50.
So it's basically just below average.
Just below average,
And
which is actually just lower than you gave Blastcore.
It's the same, I think.
You 24 for Blastcore.
Ooh, really? Yeah, I probably enjoyed Blastcore a little bit more than this game, so that's fair.
Yeah,
not by much, but a little bit more.
It's now the lowest rated.
It's fair. So just
Alrighty.
really, that's just below half, which would probably be about below average. But music, it kind of like held this.
Music
game
is the
together.
reason that I got a decent score. If it was not that, it
like if we gave that like
closer to,
even a 5, like you'd be like a 20.
I'd be a 20. You'd be a 21.
Yeah. So anyway, all right. So next podcast we're doing in a couple weeks here is going to be on Far Cry 5.
Yep. So it would be the first non-classic one in a little while.
Yeah.
But we'll probably have a lot more to say about Far Cry 5 as we both have played this significantly longer than this game. So.
I already have, and I am only 1/3 of the way through the game, really. So, yeah. So Ron's actually beat Far Cry 5 already, just waiting on me, to catch up.
Well, then I need to go back and do a bunch of side stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna do some of the side stuff. I've been doing a lot of the side stuff as I go, but anyway, we can talk about that when we talk about Far Cry 5.
We will talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the podcast, unless you have anything else.
Nothing else. I just want to thank Tokyo Machine for letting us use their song Pixel at the intro. And the Fat Rat, I want to thank them for letting us use the song Monody, which you hear in the outro of the podcast. And then you can follow us on Facebook at A Rage Quitters Podcast, or you could just delete your Facebook like everyone else is doing and follow us on Twitter at Rage Quittercast. Or you can check out our YouTube, where I am now vowing to make a video every single week. So there will be a new video of probably PUBG, Fortnite, Rocket League. I have a ton of content just sitting in my folders that I haven't made into videos that I am planning on making a video for every single week, just to make sure that we get some stuff out there. So, yeah, you can check out our YouTube. Is also just a Rage Quitters. So,
yeah. All right. So that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and see you next time, I guess.
Goodbye, my lovers.
Bye. Your lovers.
My lovers.
That's a little
All of the podcast listeners are my lovers.
Okay, well, bye.
Bye.